morning, Onyx Garden family. So today, it's so nice and pretty outside. What we are going to do is we are going to transplant a SugerBaby watermelon and an orange tender sweet watermelon. So the SugerBaby watermelon that I'm going to transplant today is going to be Merlot, and the orange tender sweet watermelon I'm going to transplant is going to be Morpheus. I'm also going to transplant two okra plants, Okra and Nakia. Okra grows really well with watermelon, so I'm going to put one watermelon plant and one okra plant in the same 5-gallon bucket. So this is my 5-gallon bucket. I have already drilled holes in the bottom, and I went ahead and drilled a round of holes on the side too, just to help with water drainage. So I have all these empty water bottles and soda bottles, and so the purpose of that is I'm going to put these at the bottom of the bucket, and so that's going to help with aeration of the soil and water drainage. It's also going to help me to not waste soil, because right now in my 5-gallon pumpkin buckets, they're completely full of soil, and you don't really need the full height. So I'm probably going to put water bottles about halfway, and so that'll save me from wasting soil and compost. So we're gonna just toss these babies in there. And it's a good way to recycle your bottles, or to put some use to them. So I think that's good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add a mixture of soil and compost in here. For my pumpkins, I did 50% soil and 50% compost, because pumpkins are heavy feeders. I don't think I need to do quite that much for the watermelon, so I'll still put some compost in here, but it probably won't be a 50-50 ratio. We'll just kind of see how it feels. Alright, so I got my soil and my compost in here. I have, who is this? Merlot and Nakia. My okra plant looks really good. Merlot isn't as green as I would like her to be, and part of the issue with that is that I waited entirely too long to start transplanting the watermelons, and so she's confined to this cup. She needs more space, so I'm hoping that once I get her in this 5-gallon and her roots have somewhere to grow and somewhere to spread, that'll help her, because they should be I feel like they should be significantly bigger than they are right now, but it's the space she's in is too confined. So her roots still look pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and transplant her. Something that I learned from transplanting the pumpkins is that the plants transplant better if you transplant the entire cup shape. So I'm gonna gently pull this, dump it upside down, and then I just squeeze the sides until it falls out, and then I do it slowly so you can see the roots slipping back into the cup. I don't want to break any of the roots. And so I'm gonna pull this out and then show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So I'm not gonna remove any of this soil. I'm gonna wet this top layer because it's kind of dry. I always like to give my plants a good wetting down before I plant them. She's still pretty wet, so I'll just wet this top layer a little bit, spritz it. But something that I discovered from planting the pumpkins was when John Wick was my guinea pig, and so I removed all the soil from around his roots to expose his roots, and then planted his roots in soil, and it took him about 4 to 5 days to perk up because the roots weren't stable. Like, I just put them in the fresh soil. Because the roots are already stable in this, and this already gives it a foundation, I'm going to dig a hole and then plant this entire thing as is. And I noticed that that's how I transplanted the two pumpkins, Ariel and Cinderella, and there was no pause in them growing. Like, they stayed healthy, their leaves stayed spread out, they stayed standing up strong. And so I learned from that it's a lot better for the plants to plant them like this, because their roots are already stable. So from here, the roots are going to spread out through the 5 gallons, and hopefully she starts really growing and she gets some of that green back. So right now she's kind of a really pale green. almost kind of a yellowish tint. And so I'm hoping that being in this fresh soil with the compost and the space really helps her take off. So we'll track her for the next couple of days, see if there's any drastic improvements. And yeah, boom, and there we go. So we got them transplanted. I'm gonna give them a quick watering. So I'm actually using rainwater. We had a pretty good thunderstorm the other day, so I caught 20 gallons of rainwater. Rainwater is really good for your plants. It's a lot better than tap water out of the sink. So I caught about 20 gallons. I used about roughly 5 yesterday. So I have 15 gallons just sitting. But I like to catch rainwater and use it for my plants. My plants love it. And there's an actual reason. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like there's a lot more oxygen in the rainwater than in the tap water, and it's the whole thing. I'll look that up for you guys and give you guys the semantics on it when in my next video. But research it. Rainwater is really great for your plants. It is illegal in some states to harvest rainwater, so look and see what your state guidelines are. I'm in Louisiana. Louisiana doesn't care. They actually encourage you to catch rainwater. But I mean, you don't have to do anything special with it. I literally it was storming pretty good. So I had 4 of these babies, and I just placed them out in the yard and let them collect the water. So they collected water pretty quick. It was raining pretty hard. So this one's empty. I used all the water that was in here yesterday. Not completely on my plants. It doesn't take 5 gallons of water to water all my plants. But I have my 2 water jugs that I try to keep filled. And then Malachi's watering can. And then my watering can. I try to keep them full at all times. So when I come out here, I can just water stuff and I don't have to go and fetch water. So that's 2 gallons right there. That's about 1 gallon in there. So I actually probably used 2 gallons of water to water all of my plants yesterday. So the rainwater I have now should last a pretty good while. That's banana water, which is a really good fertilizer for your plants. Banana water is just, you take a banana peel, you put it in water for several hours, and then you take the banana peel out, and then you use that water to water your plants. It's a way to naturally fertilize your plants without putting a bunch of chemicals in your plants. And since everything that I'm planting right now is edible, I don't want a bunch of chemicals in my plants. Something that a lot of people do when they collect the rainwater, the buckets of rainwater, is they'll actually just throw banana peels in the rainwater and just let it sit. So it'll probably be, I'll probably say close to a week before I have to use the other buckets of rainwater. So I'll probably go ahead and throw banana peels in those 5 buckets, and then go from there. So this is what we got today, guys. I'm gonna have to hold off transplanting Morpheus and Okoye because my other bag of potting mix is in the trunk of the car, and the car is not here right now. I keep forgetting to pull it out. So this is all I got for you guys today. So we'll mark today, and then today's Sunday. So I'll take a picture, and then we'll see how they're looking next Sunday to see if this is helping, to see if it'll help her grow. And then we still have the other ones in cups, so we'll be able to see the difference, or to see if there is a difference, because we'll be able to compare her to the other watermelons that are still in a cup. Honestly, I have too many watermelons. I have 4 SugerBaby watermelons, and I have, I think, 8 orange tender sweet watermelons. So I might just start gifting watermelons just to make room in my greenhouse, because I'm not going to have the space. Once these really start growing and start binding out, I'm not going to have the space for a total of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 12 watermelons. And even though we're in Louisiana, we're in the South, we're not going to eat that many watermelons. And each watermelon vine grows multiple watermelons. So I got a little bit carried away and a little bit too excited about planting stuff. I did the exact same thing with my pumpkins. So the pumpkins are doing really well, which I'm excited about. They're going to start really binding, and I'm looking forward to that. So Yeah, watermelon vines also, not watermelon, pumpkin vines also grow multiple watermelons. Pumpkins, good lord. And I don't know why, like a dummy, I thought one pumpkin seed was going to grow one pumpkin. And that's why I planted 10 pumpkin seeds. So, yeah, I also planted them way too early because they're all going to be ready in like late July. So I'll have to plant another batch probably late June, July-ish to have some ready for Halloween. So right now, I'll probably start reaching out to people and see who wants pumpkin plants and who wants watermelon plants, because I have entirely too many. So these don't go in the greenhouse anymore. I've started leaving them completely out, and that seems to be benefiting them. They were out during the thunderstorms the other day, which I was a little bit worried about. I was worried about their soil getting waterlogged or getting too wet. But it seems like they did really well. Jack is struggling. He's come back from behind. These are all four. Jack, John Wick, Cinderella, and Ariel were all planted and germinated at the same time. So it's always interesting for me to see the different stages and wonder what I did different, because I did everything the same. I just recently planted the water globes into them, or into 2 of them. I have 2 more in the house. But it's just, I guess it just depends on the actual seed, because that's Cinderella right there, who's beautiful and huge. And that's Ariel. Ariel and Cinderella are my 2, the ones that really took off, that are growing really well. And then for a while, John Wick wasn't, but John Wick is catching up to Cinderella and Ariel. And then we got poor little Jack over there. So it's just interesting to see how even if you do the exact same thing to the exact same plants, and they were planted and germinated at the exact same time, they all still grow different. So we'll see what Jack does. My standards aren't very high for Jack, from the aspect of I'm not sure if he's gonna bear any fruit. So we'll see. These are Big Mac's pumpkins. Big Mac pumpkins get from average about 70 inches around, and can be from 100 to 200 pounds. And the best way to do that, according to the packaging, is as the pumpkins start showing up on the vine, is to start removing them and only leave one on the vine, so that all the energy and all the nutrition goes to the one pumpkin. So I have some big expectations for Cinderella, because she's so big and beautiful, and Ariel, and John Wick. John Wick has been surprising me. He's come back from behind. He's flourished pretty well, considering what he was looking like when I first transplanted him. And so we'll see what Jack does. I shouldn't say that I don't expect fruit out of him. We'll keep positive thoughts for Jack. He's moving slower than everybody, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to produce as much, if not more, than everybody. So I'll keep you guys updated. I planted radishes about 5 days ago. Ooh. And so those sprouted yesterday. All those sprouted yesterday. So we got 10 out of 12 that sprouted. And I came out today to see if maybe the other 2 had sprouted, and they had not. I don't even see them breaking the surface there and there. So even if they don't, like, that one's tiny, it's behind, so they might just be behind. But if not, 10 out of 12 isn't bad. They're ready to harvest in 35 days, I believe. So towards the end of May, we should have some full-grown radishes. And then I'm super excited over here because my Cajun bell peppers are blooming. So you see the one. We got one pepper right here. It's another one right there. I know there's a third one on here somewhere. But basically, as the peppers grow, it's kind of windy today, they push the flowers off and push the flowers out. So seeing all the flowers means it's another pepper coming. And then my other, so this is Boudreaux right here. This is Lafayette over there. Lafayette's flowers are brown. It got extremely hot in here the other day, and apparently Lafayette didn't take the heat well, even though they normally love the heat. I'm not really sure what happened. So Lafayette's flowers are dying off. So we may have to wait. I don't know if that's going to produce a pepper or not. We'll have to wait and see. But I see the healthy flowers right there that are going to bloom. So I'm not too concerned about it. And then something is eating Prince and Amethyst. I, for the life of me, can't figure out what it is. So I guess we'll wait and see on them too. I see the flower buds on them, so we'll wait and see if they bud or not. And then, so all of my arugula, basil, Swiss chard, lettuce, and spinach, I want to move all of them into the stackable pots, since they're all leafy things and herbs. So we'll see. So next time you guys see it in here, hopefully we've made some adjustments and made some room in here, because yeah, we are seriously out of room. And I still want to plant corn, collards. In the house I have zucchini, yellow squash, and sweet potatoes, which need to be put into something soon. So we're in here trying to make some room. Happy gardening, guys. I will check you guys out later.